let's get into some social topics.
Yeah.
So, something unfortunate really happened in the GTA. Malton,
Malton, yeah.
also, I keep on messing it up. It's inside the Mississauga area, but Malton, a 60-year-old, a man in his 60s had recently passed away due to police gun violence by the hands of Peel police. Because what his people called a wellness call or mental call or what was, I don't want to say, I want to say, well, you call it a wellness call?
I think a mental health
Checkup or something?
wellness check, something along those lines. Yeah. Because the man, a 62-year-old man, I think his name was Ejaz Chaudhry.
Yeah.
He was schizophrenic.
Mhm.
And so they had called the police. Allegedly, now I'm saying that they didn't even call the police, they called paramedics, or they were told that paramedics were coming.
Yeah, what was like there's another term, non-police thing or something.
Yeah, like non-police emergency or something.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
And so yeah, they called, and then there's a video where you can see, so they had warned them like he's going to react like badly, but he is schizophrenic and we just need you to like help him basically. They gave him a heads up, and then the police in the video are seen on the balcony telling him to put something down, and then they fire a bunch of shots into the complex and he died.
Yeah, that shit crazy. So when I looked at the video and I read the story, right, I was like, all right, they were just concerned. So they called him. They called the people to help him, and the police showed up. But I realized that he was the only one inside the home. So how did they quite know about what he was going through?
I think you're actually able to call in for a wellness check for someone who doesn't live with you, like if you're a family member. So maybe they were talking to him on the phone, or maybe maybe a neighbor had called them or something and had known that something was happening. So at that point they knew they couldn't get to him in time. The police could, not thinking that it was going to result in his death, but just another thing I wanted to kind of address, and I spoke about this on hashtag, basically, like, when it comes to this whole defunding the police and giving them money to like mental health workers and crisis workers and things like that, like, I'm really here for that, because like there was a situation once where I actually had to call one of those like mental health hotlines for a friend of mine, and when I called it, basically the end all be all result is you have to call the police, and they tell you what the police are going to do, in terms of like taking that person, putting them in a hospital, keeping them on a watch and all this stuff. And it's like, that's not what everybody needs. Like, not everybody needs that extensive, like, grab them right away and throw them on a 72-hour watch, like psychiatric watch or whatever it is. So like, even in this case, like, it was like they had called and asked specifically for like a mental health thing, and it was still like, no, we're sending the police. And yeah, it's pretty crazy to me. But
yeah, I mean, one day I'm going to try to really get into the depth of how what would the mental, like, say if a mental health, a paramedic, I don't know what word you
crisis
call them.
worker, let's say, mental health crisis worker, yeah.
What would they look like in that situation? Are they body geared up as well? Well, you know what I mean? Like, because they said like they shot at him because he was holding a knife, right? Cops got scared on the trigger, which is rightfully so. If someone comes lunging you or with a knife and you're telling them to move around, I mean, they could have probably had a little bit more patience with him, like they had.
Or shot him in the leg at least, or the foot.
That's what Joe Biden said.
Like, not shot him like 20, like, however, not 20, I'm over exaggerating, but however many times. Like, I swear all three of the officers shot. Like,
yeah, they
should have just one in the foot and disabled him.
I feel like they didn't have as much patience with the man in his 60s rather than the man, the international student or the Asian man during the protest like 2 weeks ago did when he was walking.
Oh, the big knife.
Yeah. They didn't have that much patience with it. You know what I mean? That's something you want to look at. Maybe because they're on inside and they're a little bit more scared, but it's a situation that needs to be solved. And I saw the protest that took place, and I saw some of the tomfoolery that was going on during the protest with, I think the man is named Daddy Rambo. He was doing some, moving by the cop car. I was like, yeah, that's
cool. Yeah, I saw that. That's the guy with the
yeah, that's him.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's some cool shit right there. I don't know what he's doing, but in slides too. Come on, bro.
It defeats the whole purpose of the protest. Like, you're just trying to make it about you at that point.
Yeah, it was just But that's unfortunate, young man. I hope
Old.
gentlemen, yeah. I hope that the family's going through it.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing another reading a little bit of article on the National Post where they said within the past month, there's been 2 like wellness checks or mental illness checks done by police within Canada, and led to people being killed.
Yep. DeAndre Campbell was the one in Brampton. Same thing.
Yeah,
Schizophrenic.
yeah,
22 or
yeah.
23, I think.
And then
And
a
then
young
this one.
woman,
Oh yeah,
that one,
and
and
that one.
the young woman in no, not even yes, that Regis as well, but the young woman in New Brunswick as well, the indigenous woman.
Yeah, that one too. So that's really 4 if we count it.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate. There's a lot of unfortunate stuff right going on. So, I mean, even in terms of like hostage situations, that's where they have someone that really speaks to it. The de-escalator guy. I mean, maybe put that guy more forward in terms of,
Exactly. Yeah.
And then there was what? Tell me about this video. You saw the
Yeah,
video?
so I saw this video. I don't know if you saw it. It's a resurface video from 2018 of Durham police in Ajax beating an elderly black couple. I saw clips of it. I couldn't watch the whole thing, but they're beating the grandpa. I'm gonna call them grandma and grandpa. They're beating the grandpa. And he was also suffering from some kind of mental health, but they were leaving the hospital, and apparently there was some sort of disagreement with a nurse or something, and so then police started beating the grandpa. And then the person who recorded this video, the police went to him and said delete it, but this person who recorded it had already met the grandchild of this grandparent couple and had sent it to that person. So it's been hidden until this time, and now that person has released this video. Yeah, it's really fucked up. Luckily the grandparents are still alive. They had a couple scratch, or not a couple scratches, they got like a blown up eye and like all this shit, but like they're still alive. But like these are old people.
Yeah, those are their body is not as vigor as like a young person getting it. Not to say that a
It
young
would be
person.
yeah.
Yeah, not to say that But I saw the video that you sent, and I saw the tweets that were accompanying with those.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the sad part is that the family thought they would get justice by now,
And they
but
didn't.
yeah, and the fact that it's coming out now is more so, I guess, the best way for them to get justice, because a lot of people are more focused on how police move and operate right now, and so they're really under the critical eye of the public scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this is the best time to come forward and post that video. I hope that justice is made right. And sometimes I don't want to be that type of person to come on here, because a lot of times people see videos of people being assaulted on the internet by blogs, and there's no real context. People just kind of make up their own little context clue based on their biases. But from that video, it looked like maybe it was unnecessary, because the woman was being held by a cop and the man was saying,
like they're literally just old people. Like it's not a fun thing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, like I said, sometimes that's the person. So I mean, I don't want to sound scary on the mic, but sometimes when you're dealing with a cop, you got to understand that cop got the weapon. You know what I mean? You don't got nothing. Whatever. Like, not to say, not to try to be that weak guy, but like, hey, if they saying something, bro, just follow along on some like, all right. But hold on. Follow along, like, value your life at that moment and fight for your justice after. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say, hey, just every time you get harassed by police, you do a whole bunch of extra stuff. It's like, all right, bro, all right, I'm gonna just handle this, but I'll make sure that all the injustices or all the mistreatment that you've done will be addressed. Because I can't say, hey, bro, I'm not gonna do this, that, and third. They got power over me, and they're not above the law. They are the law. So when they do something, it will be seen as righteous within the law to whatever they do to me, because they're seen as they're holding, and whatever they do was justified because they did it. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, but then it's like, what about the people who did comply with the officers and still died too, right? Like, it's a tough thing. Like, even when we look at the George Floyd thing, like, he wasn't resisting, like he didn't do nothing wrong, and he still died. Like, so I it's hard because it's like, how can you guarantee your entire life you're going to avoid all interaction with cops? You can't. Like, they literally might just pull you over because you're black or because you're brown or Asian or whatever it is, right? So that's also the other thing that you got to take into account as well, which makes it that much harder.
I mean, that's fair. It's fair. It's fair to say that. It's fair.
Yeah.